to another episode of Let's Talk Fabulous with Tamara show. I am your guest host, Kim O'Neill, and today we are talking about allowing consistency to be fun. And we are going to have fun with this conversation, I promise. Let's talk. All right. Hello and welcome to our fabulous panel today. It's good to see all of you. Hi. Before we get into our conversation today, we're going to take a quick moment to check in with our digital sidekick, Renee, and hear a few words from her. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Reich. Welcome to today's fabulous show. I am the founder of Finding Your Voice Network, Finding Your Voice Network magazine, #1 best-selling author for Finding Your Voice, Unlock Your Chains, and Unleash Your Greatness, and a woman's life and leadership coach. Today, once again, Kim O'Neill will be our guest host, and last week we spoke about abundance. This week we'll continue the conversation, but add another spice to it, with consistency. How you achieve the abundance is doing the behavior consistently. And today we'll be finding out some ways to achieve that. The expert panelists will be giving you some great nuggets to do that. So again, as always, grab those pens and papers. You're going to want to take some copious notes to capture all the nuggets they'll be dropping. So get ready for another fabulous episode. Kim, have a wonderful show. Take care, and we will see you soon.
Right. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Renee. Appreciate that opening. I want to say a few words too, but first, let's just take a real quick moment. I want to go around to all of our panelists. In fact, I'm going to put us back on the other view so everyone can just see us all together side by side there. So everyone, I want to just take a moment, each of you, to just say your name and then where you're joining from today. And let's begin with Steph at the top.
Hi, everybody. I am Steph St, and I am sitting in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada right now.
Awesome. And Tracy?
Hello, everyone. I'm Tracy Desjardins, and I'm joining you from the Eastern Shore of Maryland in the USA.
Ben?
Hey, everybody. Ben Gioia, San Francisco, California.
And Dom?
How's it going, folks? Dominic Dom Brightmon from the land of charm and crab cakes, Baltimore, Maryland.
Woo, woo, woo. Okay, we've got them all spread out, and I love this. I love when we have the inspiration and the expertise and the wisdom and all of that coming from all different directions. And I'm just going to say a quick hello to all of those who are with us live today and replay viewers and audience. I'm going to say we've got Barbara helping us out with the chat today, and I'm so grateful. Thank you to Barbara with that. Okay, so we're talking today about allowing consistency to be fun. And I'm so grateful that Renee was able to already explain that this is, in a way, an extension from last week's conversation. Absolutely. So those who were with us, we were talking about opening to abundance and, really allowing ourselves to be open to receive that which we are consciously desiring and manifesting into our experiences today. Now let's take that conversation to the next step. So it's about like, what are the things that it's not so much about the things that we're doing, but what's going to help us in maintaining that openness, being consistent to be open to receive and be in that space. I think I want to open it up to our panelists today and say, what comes to mind initially when you think about moving into that space of you've already chosen to be conscious of I'm opening up to abundance, and now I'm going to do these things that support me in remaining open. What comes to mind first? Anybody like to share? Yeah, Ben.
Not resisting, right? Because I noticed that I can be cooking along and feeling abundant and grateful for all the things, and then things start going a little cockeyed and a little funny. And then I'm like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this going now? And the trick right there, for me at least, is to take a step back and go, thanks for that as well.
And thank you for saying that. Absolutely. So that kind of goes along with even why, and I explained this to our panelists today, but for our audience today, let us know what comes up for you too, because to me, this conversation is not black and white. It's not, okay, now I know what to do to be open to receiving abundance. Now I know the actions to take, and am I always going to do it perfectly, right? Am I always going to be able to just flow with it and have ease with it? To me, this conversation is not black and white. And for those out there who resonate and get what I'm talking about, please let me know in the chat. It's a process, right? And so that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about those little nuts and bolts about like what can be those aha moments that really support us in having ease so that we can get to that space where it's easier and it flows more consistently. So with that, we've got Tamara saying, love that way of thinking, Ben. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So Tracy, I'm going to put you in the spotlight. I know that you resonated with what I was mentioning a moment ago. I'd love to hear you just share some of your thoughts and experiences about, beginning to be consistent and flowing with it and understanding what that means for yourself, having fun with it and all that. What comes up for you?
Yeah, Kim, I'm so honored to be here. And you could probably tell how excited I was getting listening to you talk about abundance. And, something in my life that I have definitely learned about with consistency is, to achieve some sort of abundance. For me, it was always getting healthy. As an overweight child, I was always on this quest. Well, I've got to lose the weight, and for decades, it was a fight. It was a resistance. Like Ben said, I was resisting any sort of truth about my innate appetite and things like that. And I was also that kid that was always getting kicked out of the classroom and sent to the principal's office for uncontrollable laughter. And I kind of learned over the years, like, you know what? It's great that I have this sense of humor. So what I have found is in the quest for abundance and consistency with healthy habits, if I remember my sense of humor and remember that laughter is medicine, things start to get a little easy in my life. If I remember to laugh and to just let the sense of humor flow as it's meant to flow.
I love that. Yes. Allowing yourself to, I'm going to say, be easy on yourself and to just, yeah. Oh, that's so good. Who would like to add to that?
Yeah, one of my favorite coaches who's helped me talks about making sure that you every now and then remember to put the bunny slippers on and go easy on yourself. We take life so seriously and we don't allow the opportunity to fall down and get back up. From my own experience, right? I get to that place of resistance, or I get to that snag in life and think, well, this is just it. Then I give up. And so we've created this culture of canceling and letting go. And just, if I've tried it 3 times and I'm not an expert at it, it must not be for me. And so consistency for me has been that just don't give up on yourself. I really resonate with Tracy. I was a chubby kid. And being consistent with, I was a compulsive overeater. So, being consistent, learning there's strategies and ways of being that can limit and educate my mind so that I can do better. And so consistency also kind of goes with persistency. If it's bringing joy, if it's bringing bliss to your life, then of course it's easy to be consistent. But if you have an end goal that's not so easy and not so blissful, the steps getting there, but you know that at the end of that road, it's going to be a magnificent experience, then that's persistency, pushing through that resistance, pushing through and making sure that you stay on point, keep your goals in front of you so that you can continue to shine your light and fall down, get up, fall down, get up, fall down, get up, however many times it takes you to cross that finish line and whatever it is that you're doing that is yours to do.
I love that, Steph. I hear not giving up on yourself.
Absolutely. If I listened to what other people said to me as a child, oh my goodness, I wouldn't be here. Like walking up the stairs, I was 14 years old and my boss at the time said, I was humming a song. He said, don't give up your day job. And I sing professionally now, right? So it's, if we listen to what other people are telling us, or we listen to the stories we're telling ourselves about what other people think, that we're just amazingly creative storytellers in our minds. So pick the stories that are going to move you forward and let everything else go. Nobody knows what you have in you but you.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that, Steph. Yeah, Carolyn's repeating, not to give up on yourself. Absolutely. Dom, I'm going to throw you into the spotlight for a moment. What are some of your initial thoughts that are coming to mind as we started this conversation?
So many, because Tracy triggered one of the things that was a struggle for me for years on end, because I too was a heavyweight kid growing up. And funny enough, it even tied in with Ben's word resistance, because the thing is like I was so focused on losing that weight that eventually I just gave up and just started taking more action, being more active. Because the thing was, I was more the book guy, more the nerdy kid. I wasn't the athletic kid, even though I kind of have an athletic body. Now that I discovered in my early 20s, I never really used it. And the thing is, once I gave up on resisting of trying different things and going on to different fasting and things like that, I eventually lost that weight and kept it off for years on end. And then it came back later, of course, and now the yo-yo is going back down. But the thing is, it also invites more humor into your life as well, because the thing is, a wonderful quote from Jeffrey Gitomer, where he says that if you can make folks laugh, you can make them buy. When you make folks laugh about your setbacks, they can buy into their own dreams, because you decide to stay consistent enough to the point where you get to be up on stage or even one-on-one conversation and can share your setbacks, so that way they can be set up for future success. So consistency is really all about using that powerful resistance muscle that we build up over time, staying consistent over time after being resistant, and also being persistent against the odds. Because the thing is, yeah, a lot of folks like to do the whole baseball 3 strikes you're out sort of thing, but sometimes it takes 7 strikes to really get out. So really, it's all about staying in that game and just really using your pain for future power.
Oh my gosh. I know Tamara commented that she's loving this conversation, and I personally am too. I love it. Yeah, Carolyn saying, wow, great information today. Okay. So to me, this is one of the ways where it can serve us to get into the weeds of things. We're looking at the little nuances that serve us and don't serve us, and then recognizing where we have our power and our choice. And so I also, with that, want to highlight the fact that we're using the word allowing consistency to be fun, because I think a big key part of this, when you're in that space of like, you know what, I deserve better, I'm going to choose to be in the present, I'm going to manifest what I desire, and you're making those conscious decisions and making those changes in your actions, your daily behaviors, internally and externally, resistance is common, right? Like if that's what's been showing up, there's still going to be a residual momentum of that. And so it's not uncommon to have resistance still showing up. And as you're going through that, to me, there's so many things combined. I'm trying to change the screen as I speak, by the way. As you're making those conscious shifts within yourself to support your goals and your dreams and be more consistent, you want to pay attention to, am I giving up after 3 tries or just after 1 try because, it seems futile, it's not working anymore, I'm not seeing the results of my efforts? Or wait a second, what has been my belief that's in the background still playing out as I'm trying to move in this one direction? Is your mind going one way and yet your actions are going another? Right? So, okay, Helene is saying, now I am rocking in me and believing in me. I do not have time to give up on me. You know what?
That's right.
Okay. Right? Okay. And so Helene, we're going to just hold that thought there. Give me a quick moment here. That deserves a... That deserved a fabulous. Love that, Helene. The aspect of time, right? Because what are we really giving time to in our life? Want to speak to that?
Yeah, Kim, I appreciate you saying time, because it's funny how resistance just increases time, right? A lot of the time.
Okay, Ben, say I get what you're saying, and say more about that. Elaborate on that.
Yeah, just so one aspect for sure is, at least for myself, wow, if I would just do this thing instead of avoiding it or resisting it, it would be done or be done sooner. Right.
Mhm.
So that's a big one for me is that in trying to save the time, I can shoot myself in the foot sometimes
Yeah.
with that resistance.
Yeah. It's and really. So I think I started a thought a moment ago, and I want to try and complete it. To me, there are so many moving pieces to something like this, right? It's about being able to, if we're deliberately, consciously manifesting something, allowing ourselves to be open, it's feeling into our feelings. Well, what do I desire, right? And then it's, oh, well, what are my thoughts doing? And well, what are my results showing me? And oh, well, I took this action, but that didn't quite work. And it's, to me, it's all of those pieces coming together and realizing how they work. And that's somehow related to what you were just saying, Ben. I don't recall now, but let's take a look more at what our audience is sharing with us. Barbara, will you go ahead and share some more comments? I'm not quite sure where we've left off. I want to make sure we speak to some of these, because I know our audience has awesome comments too. Hello to Amy, who's with us, and Helene. Good to see you all. I know we had some good feedback in the chat, and so I just wanted to speak to some of that. So let's and right, and Tamara speaking to laughter is medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and each of our guests have also submitted an extra little video to really add to our conversation, and we've already spoken to some of it, but I'm going to go ahead and share one of those up on screen so we can further dive deep into this conversation. Yeah, and Carolyn saying, when I give my word and showing up, consistency for me. Okay, Carolyn, hello. Here we go. One more. Okay, thank you for that one, Carolyn. Absolutely. That was a mic drop because, hello, how about the value in showing up for yourself and staying true to yourself? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get to one of our additional little side videos that we can speak to today. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to begin with Steph's because I want to circle back to something you said a moment ago. So here we go.
Hey friends, I'm Steph St, Amand, and when I'm coaching, teaching, mentoring, what helps me stay consistent is recognizing and remembering that each and every day is a gift and is a sacred expression of who I am in it. Keeping my purpose, my goals, my mission on point and in front of me so that I can see and relate to each and every moment. It helps me stay consistent, it helps me remember who I am and where I'm going, and it helps me remember the impact that I'm having on others and that I am adding value to this beautiful life that we get to live.
Thank you for that, Steph. Appreciate you sharing those words of wisdom. The real the thing that really popped out for me when I watched that is the word ease. And so for anybody who's taking notes today, you might want to jot these things down. They might sound easy to remember, and yet when we get into the weeds or the resistance or all of that, right, it can be easy to forget these things. So I want to highlight allowing consistency to be easy consciously. Did you have any more you wanted to elaborate on that?
Oh, well, yeah, life is a gift. I've struggled, like my beginning few decades were a struggle. Chronic anxiety, severe depression, I was living in that stuff. And so my consistency was first finding a path that allowed me to like myself and enjoy my own company and recognize the reflection in the mirror as something that is holy and sacred and powerful, and that I didn't need to be in that anymore. In fact, I was the magnet of all of that. And so a lot of it was making sure that there's statements on the wall, statements everywhere that affirmed what it was I was walking towards, and not focusing on the stuff that I was leaving behind, but that there's a path in front of us. In fact, as time doesn't really exist, we live in that place where we can't do anything about yesterday, and the future is not written. So today is the day that I get to have, and so making today easeful and graceful is just recognizing that power and possibility that is within. So making it easy for me was making sure that my mirror was covered in glorious, fabulous affirmations of how I was going to make it through this day and not be in that place of suffering and creating the moreness of the pain that I was experiencing, but that there was something better for me. And so affirmations and meditation and those kinds of things allow the mind to wake up to the potential and the possibility that is in this day. I can't do anything about yesterday. Today is the day that I get to have.
Okay. I love that. And so what was coming to mind for me is I remember years ago when I started first doing affirmations, I remember like cracking up. And can anybody else here relate? Kind of just like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody. Okay. So
like that, I love myself in the mirror, right? You're looking at yourself in the mirror. I love myself. Do I? Is this real? Yeah, absolutely.
And so I bring that up because we're, our topic today is allowing consistency to be fun. And so if you go, okay, I'm doing this new thing because it's supposed to be good for me, and yet maybe you're like, what am I doing here? Like, allow it to be fun through ease and laughter. And I know that one's going to circle through today's conversation because we have someone else speaking to that. But it's anybody else want to share? Let's just start, because I feel like affirmations are a starting place for a lot of people when they're starting to be consistent with moving towards something they want to manifest. Does anybody else have anything they want to share? Yeah, Tracy.
I love this so much. The affirmation concept, with the clients that I work with emotional eating challenges and healing from the toxicity of diet culture, there's a common theme of this inner critic voice that goes on, and a lot of it can be rooted subconsciously. So I do a lot of work with my clients about, let's examine the thoughts that we're having. Where's this voice coming from? Who is the one that's speaking here, and how to reframe that into a nurturing voice, hence affirmations. So I absolutely love this topic, and we can certainly start to examine our self-talk and to turn that ship around and to say things that actually nurture us, almost like an invisible parent to self. Otherwise, that inner critic voice can take over like that.
Yeah. Ben, what are your thoughts?
Oh gosh, so many, and we have such a short amount of time. What keeps coming up for me is something that the Buddha, the historical Buddha, taught quite a while ago, 2,600 years at this point, right? Just the whole idea that everything is happening in the universe, right? Like, just everything is manifesting and disappearing, right? So, along with that are things like thoughts, attitudes, behaviors, etc. So that resistance, that inconsistency is another of those impersonal things that's happening in the universe. So maybe easy sometimes to understand that mentally, and then tricky to practice it, right? If it's like, well, if this is impersonal, then why the hell is it bothering me so much? and therein is the practice.
And Ben, I love that the way you just phrased all that brought to mind. If we start to think about, like, for anybody who's relating to this, right? Let us know in the comments. Can you relate to starting to incorporate positive affirmations that really serve you in being your best self, accomplishing what it is that you want to manifest, all of that kind of stuff? What's coming to mind is we're talking about allowing consistency to be fun as if it's something that only shows up when we're choosing to move in the direction we want to go. And yet, what if we were to consider, wait a second, I've been very consistent with the resistance, with the maybe the negative thoughts, or the getting in my own way, right? Like, if there's anybody out there who's thinking, yeah, I'm not good at consistency, I get bored, things don't work, I just say, screw it, y'all are telling me that time matters, and so therefore I'm going to stop wasting my time trying to do all this stuff that's not working. And I want to turn the tide and say, well, wait a second, what if you're actually really good at consistency in all the things that actually weren't working?
Absolutely.
perspective shift, right? And so, and like in that, we can start to open up. Am I going off on a tangent?
You're in good company about tangents.
Okay, good. I guess I bring that up because it can be so easy. You know, we've been around about talking about loving yourself and valuing yourself as you're making these shifts, and in recognizing the things that you're already good at. What if you're already good at consistency? What if you're already good at affirmations? It just they haven't been the affirmations that support you in going where you want to go. Mm-hmm. And so when we can start to do that, like, how about that as a gift of loving yourself and recognizing yourself? I know that sounds twisted, but do you see what I'm talking about?
Well, absolutely. Everything is consistent. The infinite intelligent universe is consistent in its behavior. And that's how we can learn to use it to better our own lives. But I bet all of us are consistent in brushing our teeth every day.
There we go.
So are you singing when you brush your teeth? Because that's making consistency fun. Yeah. Right? Everything, life is happening. There's a consistent thing happening. Every day the sun rises and the sun sets. And what we get to do in that time is up to us.
Tracy.
So to spear off of what Steph just said, I love that so much. And the thing that keeps coming up for me here is keeping consistency fun is also recognizing our effort versus perfectionism. What is enough? That's a huge stumbling block in the amazing women that I work with, and reframing this whole thing in terms of consistent effort. And I'm doing enough and I ain't trying to be perfect is really kind of a new twist on this. And it gets me really excited because that common theme of, well, I want to be consistent, but how do I know if it's enough? You know, I didn't achieve the ultimate goal, or I didn't get steps 1 through 10 done, but I did 1 through 5 and that's not enough. Again, another whole conversation that we could really expand on, but keeping consistency fun is always remembering it's about effort, not perfection. Effort trumps perfection every time.
Okay, this requires another. I love those. So, yes. And Amy is saying effort versus perfectionism. So I want to highlight here. Okay, panelists, you're fabulous. Thank you for everything you're sharing so far. And what I want to highlight is what our audience might be noticing is maybe in some ways we're kind of circling back around through some of the same topics and using different words to describe some of the same things. And the value in that is because what's registering for you. Some people might think of it as perfectionism. Someone else might think of it as, you know, oh, I don't have time for this. But maybe you realize, oh, wait, maybe I also have an underlying perfectionism, you know, desire for that. And I'm not meeting up to this supposed standard that isn't real in the first place. You know, so
you're being an example of consistency.
There we go. I love it. Okay. Yes. So, and Tamara is saying laughing at ourselves to me is a place to start. And I completely agree. I love how everyone is seeing the connections here. So we are in the middle of the show. I'm loving this conversation. Again, continue to share with us in the chat. What are you taking away, or what questions do you have? What pitfalls have you found when you were aiming to be consistent in some new habits, new efforts, and what supports you in having fun with it? We're going to come right back in just a moment and look forward to hearing more of your thoughts. Here we go.
The word is out. The Tour of Love show is coming back.
Let me tell you, with our amazing reach and the success with our international audience, E360 TV is excited to have us back.
And boy, could the world use some higher vibes now.
Today, more than ever, people are feeling the pain. They're feeling like, you know, what is going on, and love can absolutely change the world.
Raising the frequency through love.
Oh, hi, I'm Fran Kaplan, the Guinness Book of World Records fastest talking female in the world. I also hold 9 world records. I did a book signing on top of Kilimanjaro down by the wreck site of the Titanic. I've written 22 books. I'm a comic. I do a lot of things. But the thing that I'm really excited about now is that I am joining the Tour of Love. And I am going to be joining it with a lot of talented people.
It's that energy that connects us to dreams, our imagination, our faith. It's about being love connected. It's joy, love, laughter. It's the love in finding our purpose and why we're here at this time. It's finding the love along the journey, trusting the destination will be determined by each step.
I mean, my philosophy is live every day as if it's your last, and one day you'll be right. You know?
If you're ready to join us on this journey, well, the time is now, and the need is now. It's time for the Tour of Love show.
Right. I love that. Love that video. And yes, absolutely be staying tuned for the Tour of Love as more information gets shared about that over time. Okay. We have spent the first half of this show really talking about, finding ease, loving ourselves through making that transition, right? Further opening up to consistency and moving in the direction we want. And I want to add another element into this. We're opening up that doorway to more fun. And I want to share another tip that one of our panelists shared with us today that's going to add to this conversation even more. So here we go.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Ben Gioia from InfluenceWithAHeart.com, coming in from San Francisco, California today, sunny San Francisco, even though it was a little foggy this morning. And when I coach people to write their books and get them done in as little as 5 weeks, to make consistency fun, I have people dictate, right? Dictating from an outline. You can speak 1,200 words in about 7 minutes, so that means you can have 4% of a 25,000 word book done in just 7 minutes. How cool is that? And it connects you deeply to your authentic voice. So Ben Gioia, InfluenceWithAHeart.com. Use dictation for your business, not just for your book. And I will see you again soon. Take good care. Cheers.
What I really heard coming out of that, and of course you applied it to how you operate your business, right, with writing books and stuff. But what I see really shining through for everyone today is the power of using your voice to allow consistency to be fun. So Ben, do you want to elaborate on that? Say a little bit more about using your voice.
Yeah, thank you. One of the biggest challenges I see with people with their books is connecting with their voice, and it usually shows up as, I'm not a good writer, or I'm not patient, or I'm a perfectionist, all these kinds of things. And I say, great, well, just dictate, right? Because you're not going to stop and wonder, am I using the right word? You're an expert in your stuff. When you're teaching, and you're doing the download right there. And, when ostensibly, if you're there teaching your stuff, you're doing the thing you love, right? And how can you not be consistent at that point? So, give yourself a break and use your voice as much as you can.
Yeah, I absolutely love that you brought in the voice to it, because our voices are powerful. Let me know in the chat. Have you become aware of how powerful your voice is? And I'm simply starting with yourself, speaking to yourself. Any of our panelists want to speak to the power of using your voice? Tracy, yeah.
Yeah, so ironic, Ben. I had no idea you were in that line of work, but I'm an international best-selling author, and I dictated my book, and it was a fear-blasting experience. But to trust that the words were coming from my heart and to kind of go with it was actually therapy for me. So I want to say thank you for bringing that up. It's very, very powerful, our voice and how we connect that to our heart and just get the thing done.
Something I'd like to share for anybody who is maybe hesitant to start using their voice. Something I love to do, I personally do for myself and with the people I connect with, is talk yourself into a better feeling space, or talk yourself into that thing you're manifesting, or talk yourself into, I choose to have fun with consistency. This is fun. I can do this. Like, yeah, Kim's right. I was consistent with that other thing. And I'm going to choose to now apply it to this. And I'm going to see what the universe is going to show me and how it can be even more fun. And if I mess up, then I'm going to laugh with it. and just start talking yourself into that space. Anybody else here do something like that? Do you do that? It's just me.
No, absolutely. When we talked ourselves into the negative mood, therefore we're the ones that can talk ourselves out of that same mood. And it can be like that, like just realizing, oh, I'm just telling a story in my mind. So talking it out, even, talking to your plants a little bit. If, everything is vibrating at some frequency. And so it's attuning to whatever you are saying, and you're included in that frequency. So talking it out, I was just thinking what that brought to mind for me, what Ben was talking about is, I do talks on Sundays, as a minister does. And when I prepped the whole thing, I would read the whole thing. And so one day I was just like, I'm not going to write that out anymore. I'm just going to go and be the divine download for whatever spirit wants to say through me. What do I know? Right. So when you just get yourself out of the way,
yes,
you open yourself up to so much more than what was possible when you're just absolutely. Yeah. 100%, Ben, 100%.
And I think it's also a great way to really, if anybody is finding themselves maybe feeling a little resistant or challenged to even use the word allow. Like, what do you mean I can allow this to happen? It's never happened before. And you're telling me I can just allow it to happen as if it's right there. And I want to affirm yes. Like, that's how much power we have. And okay, I know. Let me just finish this thought, Tracy. Okay, I love it. Don't forget.
Okay.
I know that it's I agree. Tell us in the chat. Allow. What does that word? How is that word for you? So we have so much power, and you can begin to open up and allow yourself to calibrate. I love that word. Calibrate with what it feels like to allow things to flow and be easier and be more fun. It's a process and experience. You're not alone. Tracy, go. What do you want to share?
Yeah, I want to just throw it out there that it took me a long time to believe that I was worthy to trust my own inner voice and inner wisdom and where that was coming from. And, battling being an overweight child for decades really held me back in thinking, is this really me? Am I worthy to trust my own voice? Really a problem. And I'd like to just shout out there to everybody. We are all worthy of trusting that intuition.
Yes.
And it sounds so simple, but it's really not. And the worthiness, because we're amazing humans alive on planet Earth, we are all worthy and valid of trusting that inner voice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes,
thank you for adding that.
absolutely.
And Carolyn is saying, allow me to be free. And I want to thank you for that, Carolyn. I want to throw that I, right? I allow me to be free. Like, you are powerful. You are absolutely powerful. Let's talk about power a little bit more. What comes up? Dom, I'm gonna like put you in the mush pot for a moment. Dom, what comes up for you when you think about stepping into your power and allowing something that the screen's not moving exactly when I click on it? So bear with me here. Dom, what are your thoughts about allowing things to be fun and be in your power and all of that?
Sure thing. A lot of thoughts popped into my head, strength being one of them. And the thing is, consistency breeds strength. Having fun actually breeds strength too, because sometimes you may notice when some of those who are top performers in their field, they know how to have fun. Heck, even some of the folks I like to talk to, or if I'm working my day job, I like to be the fun guy. Some know me as the pun guy. I jokingly call myself the man of 1,004 puns because, hey, if it's something that I can really tie in together, there's going to be fun on the pun. So, really, stepping into your power is really getting into that place where you truly don't really care too much about what is really truly going on around you in terms of the negativity, the words that you may hear in the back of your mind, the stories that we may allow to bring ourselves back to our memory every now and then, just letting those aside and just being okay with allowing yourself to grow, and then finding your even corniness, because the thing is, I'm okay with being corny because that's really where the fun happens. And sometimes it's so corny, folks just laugh with you too. And I'll laugh at my own jokes because it's a lot better that way, because they want to laugh in too. Because it's like, oh man, it was so corny, it's so bad, but he finds it funny. I guess I'll laugh too. And then they feel better as a result. So just stepping into the power that you truly have, whether it's corniness or being able to discover a new lesson when you speak out your words, like it's really just tapping into what you already have, disregarding all the negativity around you, just disregarding all the bad stuff you think that's around you, and disregarding the assumed risk you think you're taking, because at the end of the day, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves too, because that's power that we give to others. That's power that we give to the invisible, the power of things that aren't really there. At the end of the day, we have the power right there.
Okay, you're gonna make me do it. Here we go. He's not making me do anything. I'm in my power, and I choose to do this right now. It was awesome sauce, Dom. I love your puns, by the way. Your fun on a bun puns. And it's so true, right? When you're allowing yourself to have fun and release that fear of, oh my gosh, how am I going to look? How am I going to sound? What might other people think, right? It's be easier on yourself, love yourself through it, get to that space. Anybody want to piggyback off of what Dom was just sharing? Well, okay then, Dom. I think you had the mic drop. You said it. And
hashtag showstopper.
Was that amazing? Yes. I actually want to go back into the chat. Tamara is with us live in the chat, and so I'm going to take a quick moment and go back to a comment that she said a moment ago. Let's see if I can quickly find it. I think it might be this one. Let's go ahead and. Let's look at this one. Tamara was saying, I believe to allow is to welcome what we would like to see in our lives to enter into our lives. There was something about that, Tamara. I really love that you said that. The word welcome really popped for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything, Steph, what's that about?
You got to welcome it. We are creating the environment that our good is coming to. So if we're, whiny over here, then we're going to get whiny over there. But if we are creating the environment that allows and welcomes in that the moreness of life, the good that is already ours, the divine expression of our reflection that is preordained to be with us because we are unique and unrepeatable. That's everything. The environment that we are creating, the environment that is within us, that's if we are creating that welcome expression, then our good is already here. It's those checks are signed. Those new relationships are present. That weight is dropping off, right? That's all that we have is we are creating the environment to accept that which is already perfect, whole, and complete with our name on it.
I love it. I love it. Okay, we have one more panelist video that I want to share with you today. And we're not done with the show yet. We've still got time, but I want to hear from those of you that are with us, whether you're YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're watching, where you can comment. Let us know in the chat. Is this conversation resonating with you? I know that we had a mic drop from Amy. What's coming up for you? How is this supporting you in having fun and being consistent? And we're going to talk a little bit more after we see this next video.
Hey friends, Tracy Desjardins here, international best-selling author of The Diet-Free Diva. What helps me to be consistent in my coaching with women to help them find freedom and peace with food, body, and self is to remember to laugh, because laughter is truly some of the best medicine of all time. And being healthy in our mind, body, and spirit requires consistent effort to make good decisions. But in the meantime, let's make it fun. Let's gather in groups together and remember to laugh, because when we laugh, life is good.
feel like Tracy and I were separated at birth.
Hey, can I dive in with something? I have to say this. Do you know that I was in high school back in the late 80s? And in 1987, I got in-school suspension for uncontrollable laughter in the classroom. I really did. And I'll never forget it. It was the best experience of my life because I was a very troubled person back then. But there was something inside of me that said, I got something here. And this laughter that landed me in in-school suspension is someday going to make me stronger than ever. And it did. And testimony to being on this show right now. So if you think about this, when we're laughing most of the time, we're not stressed out. When we're laughing, we're relieving stress. And, especially the kind of laughter where it makes your belly hurt. I mean, it's all good. We can't get enough of this stuff. And it just lightens everything up. And it helps us to be consistent with whatever you're doing. When we laugh, things just get a little easier. And we remember to enjoy being alive.
Yeah, and I know we were speaking about laughter earlier in the show, but it bears repeating because it can be easy to get away from that and think we have to be serious about everything. So thank you for adding that, Tracy. And I want to highlight Amy's comment on the screen here. We have Amy saying, how this resonates most in this moment. We are expressing as who we are being. So powerful. Thank you for that, Amy. She says, we get to make the best empowering choices that allow us to create an environment that speaks our heart's highest expression of truth. Okay. Okay. Here we go again. Let's give it here we go. Thank you for that, Amy. I love that. I want to speak to another element of what you said in your video, Tracy. You were talking about having fun, and then you said something about laughing with other people. And so how can we, I want to ask our panel, how can we bring other people in to support us in being consistent and having fun with that journey? Who has something they'd like to share on that aspect? Tracy. Yeah, Tracy.
Of course, I've got so much to say here, but I find I do a lot of work with groups with women, and I find that when I share my flubs, my mistakes, and I'm vulnerable, and I talk about how I screw up all the time, and I'm going to make better mistakes tomorrow, everybody starts laughing. There's a lot of validation that goes on there about, hey, can I be consistent in my best efforts? And it's really funny how the conversation will just everybody starts laughing and sharing their mistakes and their flubs, and all of a sudden there's empowerment in the air. I do a lot of that. I notice that all the time. And so this group thing with laughter and sharing how we're giving our best effort, we're making mistakes, but it's all part of this thing called living. And that's enough.
Absolutely. And what I hear you saying in that is allowing ourselves to be free from the shackles of everything has to be perfect, everything, right? It's free and have fun with the flow of it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The flubs make us who we are.
The flubs make us who we are.
Yes.
Yes. And laughter is contagious. So think of all the free endorphins we're just passing out everywhere we go.
I want to take a quick moment and acknowledge Polly in the chat with us today. She says, helping me out of depression. Polly, you are a freaking rock star for even sharing that. We love you. I have been there. Anybody else on our panel who's been there?
2.5 decades. Yeah.
And there's another side. There's something more and beyond, and we're loving ourselves through it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Can't say that enough. And Patty is saying so much love here. Absolutely. And Tamara likes to infuse this show and of course everything she does with CB4L with hope, heart, humor, and love. And I hope that has come through today's show, because I feel like when we talk about consistency, even just consistency and fun might seem like two opposing things, and they don't have to be. We can let them, we're going to allow them to be fun, right? Bring everything into the same space and allow there to be love in all of it. She's saying laughter is contagious. I'm thinking of all the babies that when they laugh, oh, well, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, so we are nearing the end of today's conversation. We've still got a little bit of time, but I want to give you all just, I don't want to have to tell you like one word final thoughts. So let's see, what are your final thoughts on this subject? What's really arisen for each of you today? You've got about, let's say, 45 seconds to a minute. Anybody would like to go first?
Go.
Ben, yeah.
Thank you. So, Kim, this has been great. Tamara, this has been great. And for me, it comes down to relaxing, right? And I'm not talking about, kicking it with a beer, although that's lovely, but I'm talking about when the resistance comes up, to smile and relax into the resistance, right? Because the resistance might come up 1,000 times. If you can relax 1,001 times, you can get back to being consistent. So, don't get involved with the story of the resistance. Don't make the fist around the resistance. Just relax and smile and get back to it.
That's such a good point. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Dom, what are your final thoughts here?
Sure thing. Funny enough, improv comes to mind because at the end of the day, when it comes to life, we're all improving, to be honest. And really, it's all about taking your failures and really building them up for a giant tower of progress, because it's really about progress over perfection.
Did it freeze for everyone? It froze on my end.
No.
Nope.
Oh,
he's good.
No ice cubes? Good. Okay. All right, good. There goes that improv thing again.
And we're going to laugh on through it. It's all good. Okay. Dom, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and finish your thoughts.
Oh, no, it's all good. I know scissors is a pair of life as well as swords. It's okay. Nothing wrong with cutting off when necessary.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that, Dom. I'll have to listen to the replay to even hear what you just said. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Steph, I'm going to throw you in. What are your final thoughts?
Oh, the joyful hot seat. Final thoughts, consistency. For me, boredom is a big thing. And so if I'm getting bored, it's probably time to switch things up. Life gets snags, life gets setbacks, but if you roll with it and make sure that you've got your affirmations up, but just keep turning back to that place of what is yours to do? What is this day going to unfold? How am I bringing my full self to this day? And letting your light shine. You are an absolute unrepeatable expression of an infinite intelligent presence that is perfect. So you were born perfect. You don't have to become anything else. And then life gets to just be the experience that you're having. So go easy on yourself. Enjoy the ride. It could be a Ferris wheel or a roller coaster. It's up to you. And just be in consistency. Life is what you make it. So crack open those joy beans and plant some great seeds.
Oh, I love that. Joy beans. Yes, yes. Okay, awesome. And Tracy, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, Kim, I just want to say this is so much fun. Any time spent with you is just a blast. And this panel is just amazing. And I want to shout out to Dom that I'm really grateful that we didn't go to high school together, because you and I would be in school suspension together for this laughter thing.
That would have been awesome.
It's good. You've got that contagious laugh just like me, So, I just want to say to the listeners out there that there was a time in my life when I heard positive things about consistency and fun. I felt paralyzed and I felt like all this sounds good, but I'm really stuck and I'm really down on myself. And what I learned, I want to just share this, and I want to throw this out there as a question. What are one or two small things that you could begin doing now consistently that would be fun? Small wins. Baby steps, everyone. If we try to bite off more than we can chew, that brings stress, and then we forget how to laugh. So what I've learned, when you take just a couple of things, which, by the way, that's enough. That's how we do this. And we start making progress with consistency, and remember to laugh, and remember what really makes life fun for you. This is how we make progress. And what Ben said as well, relaxing through this. We can't Amazon Prime our result that we want tomorrow, even though it would be great. We really can't. So just one or two things that you could start doing, that's enough. And that's the way. And this is how we make consistency fun.
Thank you for that, Tracy. Yes. Panelists today, I want to say we've got like a little over a minute still. I want to say thank you so much to each of you. You guys have been awesome. And we've got Amy, of course, also repeating such a powerful conversation from the panel of experts today. Thank you as always for creating the best show every week in the internet. Thank you, Amy, for watching and sharing your thoughts. We really appreciate that. And just to add to what Dom and Tracy were saying, well, yeah, I used to get in detention for talking. So I was with y'all. Oh, and Steph too. You too. Okay, so we're a bunch of talkers here, by the way. Ben,
room full of misfits.
It's fabulous.
Meow.
Okay. So I'm gonna close by just simply reminding you that you are powerful. Use your voice. Be easy on yourself. Love yourself through it. I want to take a quick moment to highlight a comment that Tamara had said. Actually, I'm not going to make it in time to it, so I'm going to let it go. But she mentioned something about recognizing the value of your life, of your time, and is your time well spent moving in the direction that you desire, even if you're learning through it? I want to say absolutely. Allow it to be fun. Ask yourself what can allow this to be more fun today, and I promise you answers are going to show up. Thank you so much for being here today. We will see you all on the next episode of Let's Talk Fabulous with Tamara. Bye for now, y'all.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you for joining us today. And I'd like to personally invite you back next week as I have another guest host that will dive deep into our fabulous lives with subject matter experts. Let's talk.